for the Celtics. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about, here's Jarrett's joining right now. Chaz, Jarrett, myself, we're going to talk about what if the Pelicans get the number 1 overall pick, or what if they realistically get the number 8 overall pick. We're going to talk about what will happen on Monday and what it will mean for the Pelicans. Make sure you smash the like button. Let's do it.
First took away. After this, get your money's worth now.
Presented by the Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. If you've been hurt in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore, Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. They always fight for the win. Is always powered by 40 Energy. Shout out Blue Moon.
Blue Moon.
Whew. Chaz, did you have money on the Celtics today?
I don't bet. But no, I just I like Boston because they built mostly through the draft. Like most of their main players, with the exception of Drew, was through the draft. But
yeah,
that looked like
man.
That's a physically, mentally fragile team.
Yeah, Tatum's been pretty disappointing. I didn't understand
him
Jarrett,
specifically.
Jarrett, when you were when me and you were in the room before we went live, I was trying to get your attention, but I like that Missoula went. There's like whatever, they were down 1 with like 22 seconds left, and Tatum had that straight line drive from the other baseline. I really like that call to where he gets a dunk. Fast forward, Brunson gets 2 free throws. Knicks go up 1. They have a timeout left. Why not take that timeout? 12 seconds left, Jarrett. Advance the ball. You could still go quick, and if you're down 1, if you miss, which they did, you still have time to foul, and you then still have time for whatever it is, tie it up or win it. Instead, they don't take a timeout. They don't advance the ball. Me and Chaz were talking about this. Maybe they were like, quote unquote, trying to, outthink the other team.
They had just scored that way though by advancing, like not advancing.
Sure. So what you could have done is advance and give him, go on with the best set. Like Jarrett, what did you think about that from Joe Mazzulla? I thought he kind of collapsed there.
I mean, we can look at it in hindsight and be like it didn't work, but to be honest, I think this is good for the Celtics, right? They've kind of like been one of the teams where they've kind of skated through the regular seasons at time, bailed out by big performances, bailed out by, guys just having bad games or them just having good games.
Yeah.
I never liked the barrage of threes. I never did. I understood that how you playing it, I can't give you all play, but how they're trying to play, right? It's a numbers game, right? You're just trying to outshoot more attempts at threes, the more likelihood you're going to make those. But we talked about this on another pod or previous pods, the NBA seems to be changing right in front of us, right? This game didn't get over 100. And I think most games this playoffs probably they're not getting over 120 for sure, right? Like these are contested games, highly contested games. You got to figure out a way to score against really good defenses. Joe probably should have called a timeout at that point, but what are you drawing up? I don't think he's been really good this playoffs, to be honest, as a coach. Just stepping back and looking at him. It's tough right now for them.
It really is. And I'm interested if they can bounce back because Chaz, you've talked about the Celtics and the Pelicans being trade partners. If they get bounced here in the second round, there have been rumors about them blowing it up and not being able to afford that roster. Shit. I mean, it's going to be interesting. The Celtics will be a team this offseason to take a look at as a trade partner. But I want to get in this quick kind of talking point, what we've been discussing. Obviously, you have the draft lottery coming up on Monday, right? And so, Chaz, we talked about in the group chat, what if they get number 1 overall? But first off, instead of going with what if they get number 1 overall, because I think there are obviously you're going to take Cooper Flag, but I want to talk about that topic a little bit later. I was looking at today, Chaz.
Mm-hmm.
What if they get number 8? Right? Like you're excited, right? You can get a number 2, top 3, you're really happy. If they get 4, are you kind of disappointed? But like you're projected to get number 4, right? If you jump up and get 1, you're elated. But I don't think we're really looking at this as a whole. Is what if they fall and land at number 8? What do you do then as a franchise? Because look, I haven't looked past number 5. But the reality is that the Pelicans can drop to number 8. Mm-hmm. What happens if the Pelicans do drop to number 8? What would you do if you were Dumars?
If I was Dumars, I'd absolutely trade it. I'd probably look to trade it at 3, 2 isn't like off the table for me. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it really, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, even if they get number 1, I don't think it really matters as much, truthfully. Something I noticed particularly with Joe Dumars is like, you know, my conspiracy theory was that he came here to retire, right? And everything seems to be adding up. Okay, he just made this hire. He just made another hire with another former Piston who's going to act as a scout, spend some time in Portland. But he does the interview with BJ Armstrong, right? BJ Armstrong gets hired. Well, let's just do the chronology. All right. Joe Dumars gets hired, right? Joe Dumars is said to be in consideration for only 2 teams, the Kings and the Pelicans, right? The other person, the person who Joe Dumars was rumored to have interest in, Scott Perry, he's hired like in the exact same time frame by the Sacramento Kings. And you know, that's Scott Perry, right? Joe Dumars does one real interview since his hiring with Hoop Geniuses, hosted by BJ Armstrong. BJ Armstrong gets hired by who? The Sacramento Kings. This is all one big Ponzi scheme. I don't think the draft matters whatsoever. To entertain the conversation, I'll say if it's 8, you trade it. Anything after 2, you trade. In my opinion.
Okay, so I wanted to pitch this. So Jared, give me your thoughts on number 8. Are you just, if you get 8, worst case scenario, are you looking to trade it?
You said if I get what? I'm sorry.
If you get number 8, that's the worst case scenario for the Pelicans. If you get number 8, are you going to stay there and pick? Or are you looking to trade back in the draft? Maybe get a better player. What are you thinking there?
I think that's probably the best thing, right?
Yeah.
Is to trade back and try to accumulate more picks. Probably next year, maybe next year after that. If a team that wants to move up sees a guy like, hey, all right, you can have it. But to be honest, like strategy wise, I'd hope the Pelicans and Joe already have a plan for 8. Like, I think if you were building this out, you need to have a plan for 8, then have a plan for 7, and then have a plan for 6, and so on. Like, you can't be thinking, oh, what if we get Cooper? That's like the likelihood of that is decently high, but it's not that high. So I want to start at the at minimum. This is what if we get 8, this is what we're doing. I hope they have a plan for that already, rather than waiting for the probably the balls to drop. Pause.
So Chaz, just say we get number 8 again. Is there a way in which you would trade up, use that pick, use a player? Not in this draft. So you wouldn't trade. You wouldn't look to trade up at all.
No,
in this draft. Why?
There's nobody in this draft worth it. I mean, we'll get more into it, I guess, as we consider more and more draft prospects. But this seems like a draft full of like role players to me. What was that draft that had like Darius Miles and all those guys? This seems like that draft to me.
Well, what's so funny is like last year they were talking about this draft, how it was loaded with talent, and now you're here and it's really
it's the same conversation every year.
Every year. So Jared, if you had number 8, you wouldn't look to trade up.
Depends on how. Okay, we did a show last night on a guy, Derik Queen. Hopefully, that comes out soon. That's one of the interesting prospects that I'd be willing to trade up. Maybe if a team was like, yeah, we don't want anything in this draft, and maybe they had 3 or something like that. I can see where a team would be willing to give up a player in this year's pick to move up to get a guy like Derik Queen. Just the upside is there. If you watch the tape a little bit more, you're like, oh, wait. And I think he's still a role player in a sense, but I like a glorified role player that knows who he is.
Right. Hey, you gotta have him. So let's shift this conversation to number 1, right? So I'm not gonna say, like, if you get number 1, obviously you're talking about Cooper Flag, Chaz. But let me ask you this: say you get number 1,
okay.
Say Charlotte gets 3, and Charlotte really wants that number 1 pick, and they're like, "Look, we can swap picks, and I'll give you LaMelo."
Nah, to me, this is a 2-player draft.
So even if a team like Charlotte, Washington, say Charlotte, Washington, Utah, or God forbid, like, okay, screw it, say Philly. Say Philly wants number 1.
Okay.
Would you entertain that for Max?
If they got number 3?
Just say Philly has number. Yes, Philly has 3, 4, or 5.
No. This is really a 1.5 person draft.
So so if you get number 1, you're automatically taking Cooper Flag.
Well, you know what? For the sake of not being short-sighted, right? I would probably take, if Washington said, I will give you 3 or 4 future firsts with no player return. Like, let's say Washington get number 3 or some shit, and they say, I'll give you number 3 and 3 or 4 future firsts for Cooper Flag. I would have to consider it, because I think even if you draft Cooper Flag's only here for about 6 to 7 years. Right? And the type of player who I expect Cooper Flag to be, I don't think Cooper Flag is like Kobe Bryant. No shit like that. I think he's gonna be
a good player.
I think he's gonna be a really good, cool player. But this is not the draft for that, in my opinion.
Jared.
Yeah, that's the thought process I had, Chaz. It would be something where somebody was like, here, like Ricky Williams-esque kind of give me every draft pick in the future for the next like 4 years. Like, you want them that bad? Okay, cool. We can make that happen. And if you're New Orleans, you're like, look what you got in return. He went to a bad team. They're gonna be bad. They're not even gonna have a chance to rebuild inherently. And I got their future. Like, nah, yeah, that's a win. Even if it is Cooper. Like, he's good, but I don't see him being that good.
Say the Pelicans land 1 or 2. Whichever one. Grizzlies call up. They offer you John, whatever, the pick swap. Taking that?
And Ja and what?
Ja, like if they're picking 8th or 9th or whatever they're picking in the NBA.
Oh, nah, because they made the playoffs, so they're gonna be picking like 15th or some shit.
So
16th.
if it's 15 for 2 and Ja Morant,
nah,
and Pelicans,
not doing.
So you're not looking at trade at all, Chaz.
No, because I'm just looking at this timeline and how things seem to be happening with Joe Dumars and how he just hiring his partners and shit. It don't seem like I don't know, man. Like, I think Zion's getting traded, right? So to me, it's better to just go full youth versus like, you bring Ja Morant over for a year or so and see if it works out. Then you end up trading Zion. Then you end up trying to trade Ja. It just like, look, man, the more I hear about Joe Dumars and how he's doing things, I don't want to count him out just yet. But the more I hear about him, it just seems like you need to just try to accumulate as many picks as you can to rebuild this down like for years and years and years ago. Like, I'm kind of content with it being over at this point as far as being competitive. It sucks, but that's kind of I think we are.
So with like so Chaz is like the new regime, right? I know Joe's hired Troy Weaver. Who's the other guy just hired?
I think his name like Jason Welver or some shit like that.
Yeah, so something like that.
Respectfully, I don't mean to disrespect.
So are you expecting him to like hire? I don't know.
I think he gonna hire like Flip Saunders or one of the Wallaces. He gonna keep bringing in Pistons. Like that's just.
But like that's just how I feel like that's just how the nature of the business works, right? Like he's bringing guys that he's familiar with. That's why I mean.
I guess he ain't worked with that dude since 2005.
Oh,
that is true.
Chaz, you said this before. You know, Flip Saunders passed away, right?
No, I didn't. No, I said I ain't know if Larry Brown was alive or dead. I ain't know Flip passed away. No disrespect, but that don't mean Joe wouldn't bring him in. Like, so I don't know what Joe Dumars capable of. Like Monty Williams, maybe. I don't know because it just looks so crazy. It's like, bro, everybody connected to the Pistons. You just do an interview with this. Yeah. That's like LeBron hiring JJ Redick. No one thinks JJ Redick was qualified for that. And I'm not saying BJ Armstrong wasn't qualified, but you do one interview with BJ Armstrong. Now BJ Armstrong working in the fucking front office somewhere. This is crazy.
Dog, that's no different than when Joe got the job, right? Like,
yeah,
exact same thing.
It's crazy, bro. This is crazy.
So, yeah, I was actually expecting something like if we got number 1, I would listen to offers. But I mean, like if you don't think teams like say Utah gets 3 or 4. You don't think Utah's going to be really disappointed not wanting to get up and move to number 1? I mean, they tanked an entire year. They take an entire year for Cooper Flag.
They got to tank next year too.
Yeah.
So you
I don't know
think
if it was specifically for Cooper Flag. I'm sorry, I know you wanted to say something, Five, but I think they tanking like how they are because OKC owns the rights to their pick, so they gotta like tank.
Nah,
yeah, I'm just looking at
pretty
it.
much say the same. Well, not that point, but yeah, they got to tank. Even if they didn't own their picks, like even if they did own their picks outright, like you're still not going to be good,
Right.
especially in the West. Like it's not even advantageous to even try. To be honest, you might be more exciting, yes, but they. Although Utah sucks, they still have like decent attendance, so it's not like people are not pulling up.
Mm-hmm.
If the Pelicans
They understand the process. Go ahead, Justin.
If the Pelicans land number 3,
Oh God.
and between 8 and Jarrett, y'all just did this last night or with Ace Bailey. I already got a show about Ace Bailey. Y'all taking Edgecomb or y'all taking Bailey?
At 3?
Yeah.
You don't want to know my answer.
I'm
You ain't taking either of them, aren't you? You're
I'm
taking
not.
Queen, aren't you?
I am. Derik Queen.
Really?
Yep.
That impressed with it?
Yeah. I think the skill set is there. To be honest, like I think Ace needs more surrounding him. Like my dog Derik Queen he can just play basketball. He seems like an old dude at the gym. Right? He's shooting from the same 3 spots no matter what. Screen, roll. He passes out of the short roll really well. Can finish. Strong. Rebounds the hell out of the ball. Yeah, it just seems like a guy that's going to play like 15 years. Be really good about 10 of them. I'm cool with that being the number 3 pick in this draft. Right? If you compare number 3 picks in previous drafts, like, yeah, like they should be an all-star. I don't know if he gets to an all-star game, but I think he's going to be a really good pro.
Derik Queen center, so 6'10". So I mean, obviously you drafted Yves Missy last year, right? So would you pencil in Derik Queen as your starting center?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
That much better than Yves.
Yeah. Boy. Come on.
I haven't watched much film.
They're two
I'm gonna
totally
have to
different
watch
type
the
of
show.
players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Look, once again, I don't watch much college basketball. Only like I really don't like it, so I'm gonna have to watch. I watch Jose Bailey stuff. I'm gonna have to watch the Derik Queen stuff. I mean, obviously, I watched him in March Madness, and I was impressed. But I've heard a couple like just characteristic things, like he's kind of lazy. From what I was reading, I mean, obviously, I gotta watch film on him, but I mean, I don't know. Bro, back-to-back years dropped in the center. I would really be upset with that.
But Justin,
I would be upset by that.
think about the way the NBA is being played.
You're right. Double big. Like you going
Like,
right.
there's some
Sure.
advantages to it, man.
Sure.
And if he's the best and skilled at it, like you might as well, and he can shoot a little bit. So
I mean, Shane, I'm thinking the same thing, but for what Jared just said, like,
What was it? Hilton Armstrong and Cedric Simmons? Whoever?
oh my
God.
god,
Oh my god, that was bad.
that's terrible. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna talk about 1 and 8. I mean, what if you get like 6? Like, I don't even know, like Trey Johnson at 6. Like, what?
No, I'm telling you, if you're the Pelicans, bro, you just need to. It depends, dog, because I just think you get into a point where you might just want to rip the Band-Aid off and just trade Zion. You got to trade.
Look, that's on the table. That's on the table too, Chaz.
Yeah, I mean, but not only is it like
Chaz, do you think? Let me ask this question: do you think that Zion could get traded on draft night, or do you think it'd be?
I haven't seen a trade on draft night happen in a long time, but maybe. I mean, just because it's like you ain't really close, dog. Like, I mean, maybe you're closer than it would seem, but it's like you got so many holes in this roster, and you're investing into. You just missed in every draft, damn near. You got a bunch of like role players, and it's just like you just don't got the time it would take because you got to hit in this draft, you got to hit in the next draft, you got to hit on the Giannis trade, you gotta get a good coach, you got to do a lot of things, bro. And the thing I think people don't realize is it's very hard to win in the NBA. It's very, very hard to win. like even with Boston got all that talent, right? But if Jason Tatum don't show up, like in like the last 2 postseasons, the team's healthy or healthier, so they can sustain him not showing up. But when he not showing up in this instance, it's like you just can't win, bro. Like it's very hard to win. So the Pelicans need so much luck, and it's just starting off bad with these Dumas hires. So it's just starting off bad.
Hopefully they prove us wrong here, but like, yeah,
I hope so.
I mean, I figured you bring in guys that he's more comfortable with, and more front office members. Like, I'm still interested in what happens with Bryson Grant. Like, I still don't know what happens there if he just gets demoted, I guess, after getting promoted last year.
Probably let his contract run out.
Yeah.
Tell him you go fish for another job, brother.
What sucks is that he actually did a pretty good job in last year's draft. And we've talked about that. Jarrett Charles asked 5, if we do draft Queen, would you start him at the 4 with ease at the 5? You'll still have Kelly and Makovich coming off the bench.
Youth wins, man, especially on a team like this. Like you want to get guys playing time, especially if they have potential like this.
I forgot we had Olynyk. I really did.
Big Kales.
Yeah, like Kelly should be coming off the bench anyway. Like this.
Yeah, he'll be a great rotational piece. He'll be fine.
Charles, to be honest, I don't think the Pels are going to be good next year, right? That doesn't mean they're not going to grow, right, as players and to be developed. Hopefully that's the plan. Hopefully, and they're not selling dreams like, hey, we're going to be super competitive in the West. We're going to try to get up. Like, pump your brakes. So I think a guy like Queen needs minutes, needs time on task. Probably needs to earn the start. He probably doesn't start at the beginning of the year, but I definitely do think by January he started.
Jared, what you're saying is really intelligent and smart, but really pisses me off is that the head coach ain't gonna fucking play him and give him. The current head coach is not gonna give this guy ample amount of run to see what he can do. The only reason why Eves got run this year is because literally they had no other option. So like he was the only center on the roster. Now, I agree with you, Jarrett. Like I'm interested in that Eves Queen, 4 or 5, whatever you want to do. But like also if you start Zion, Eves, and Misi, like I'm sorry,
you gotta imagine Zion going in this scenario.
What type of shooting do you have? You think Zion's going in that type of scenario?
I kind of think he's going no matter what, unless the offers are just that bad.
Do you really think he's going? Like you really think he's going?
I think so, just because like, do I think he should be gone? I'm like, not really in this market, just because like if you watch the Kings, right, bro, or you watch the Clippers were historically they were like mainstream bad. Like they mentioned the Clippers and fucking Joanna, man. They were mainstream bad, right? The Pelicans and the Kings, like after that era they had, they've been mainstream bad. The Pelicans are now, with the addition of Joe Dumars, they're now mainstream bad. Because now you like literally the laughing stock around the league. It's very difficult to escape bad ownership and becoming mainstream bad. The Clippers had to land a Hall of Famer in Chris Paul to kind of turn that entire organization around. Then you got another Hall of Famer eventually in Kawhi. Then you got, another one in Harden. Like it's very hard to turn these like organizations around. With the Pelicans, I'm like, how you I just don't see an out for this organization, truthfully. I hate to be like,
Chad,
negative.
We've talked about this. No, it's not negative. It's just being honest, which a lot of people have a problem with, but that's okay. But like, let me ask y'all this. You got what, 3 years left of control of Zion? Is that right? 3 more years?
Roughly, yeah.
What is the point? Whether he's fucked up or not, right? What is the point of getting rid of him now when you're not going to get anything in return and you still have 3 years of control left? It's not like this guy's asking out. What would the point be to trade him? Why not just let him play, rebuild some of his value, and go from there? And maybe, just maybe, Zion matures and carries this team to what he can do. Because I'll tell you this much. I've watched Zion and Trey play together when they're healthy. They're fucking good together. They're really good together. Okay. You draft well here and you just try to maybe like Zion, what can you do here for these first 40, 50 games and go from there? But to trade him, just to trade him because he's had off-court issues, does not sit well with me. Look,
And they're
I
not
know
really issues, Justin.
no, and they're not. You're right. But like, he's been very bad these first 6 years off the court. Very bad. That doesn't mean he can't turn it around. And with new leadership and Joe Dumars, maybe he gets to him. Maybe he says something because David Griffin didn't hold him accountable at all. Maybe Joe can change it around. But I just don't see how ownership can say, we need to trade this guy because he's having off-court issues and just take whatever deal you want. To me, like maybe I'm crazy, but like, how does that make any sense moving forward? Especially if this ownership group just wants to make money. Your only chance to make money is Zion Williamson. So why would you trade him?
Especially on this contract, it's
Like,
not advantageous at this point. I think you could, again, rebuild that value, right? And then listen to offers after that. Keep him healthy. He likes to play well in December. He has a track record of that. If you can get him at least to All-Star break healthy, and then start listening, but don't do it beforehand just because you're frustrated.
Right.
But again, you have to, hold up a mirror to this franchise and be like, what have you done to help him? Like truly help him, not just call him out when he does something bad, but put preventative measures around him where he doesn't do things that you don't want him to do. And to be honest, like this is his personal life. Like if you don't like that, then that's fine. But professionally, on the court, like he's really good when he's on the court. But can you help him stay on the court? That's your job. You want to make profit off an investment? You might want to put something around the investment to make it more profitable.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay.
Well, I want to answer this question real quick, Charles. You said in the past 20 years, how many teams have won chip with their own draft picks? And so I just started looking this up. Obviously, you had the Spurs. Golden State before they got Kevin Durant won one. You had Boston just won one. I think Denver was pretty draft heavy. If I'm not mistaken.
Main players except for Gordon.
Was Toronto draft heavy? Besides Kawhi?
That's Kawhi. Well, yeah, but Kawhi is the reason they won.
I mean, they drafted Van Fleet. They drafted
Denver didn't draft Joker though, right?
And
he
got traded from Portland, right?
Portland, yeah.
No, I think they traded Sabonis to not Sabonis.
Right.
What's the dude?
Nurkic.
Right. They traded Nurkic.
Charles, if you looked it up, you'd be surprised. I mean, look, obviously, they've made obviously the Cavs made some trades and the Lakers made some trades in the Heat, of course, and signed in free agency. But there are some teams that can build through the draft and win a championship.
But I'll say this too. I think Memphis is in the same boat as the Pelicans for the most. I think Memphis just had better coaching, right, and a bit more availability early on the onset because they've really been bad drafting too. Now, the two they did get right was Ja, of course, and Jaren Jackson Jr. And Bane worked out. Bane was a steal, right? So let's just say that's three that worked out, right? And I think they drafted Dylan Brooks, right? So let's say that's four.
They did draft Dylan Brooks.
The Pelicans, let's say if you want to say Zion and aside with his injuries, but let's say you want to say Trey, who's also been injured. Let's say you want to say Herb, who's been injured quite a bit himself. That's three. Is there a fourth pick that worked out really well for them that I can't think of?
Not for them.
Yeah, not for them, right? So, but as soon as the injuries really start piling up with Memphis, like you see this postseason, it's like, all right, now that Zion Williams pick, Xavier Tillman, all those picks look fucking terrible now. Because now you don't have a good team no more.
Yeah.
Never being able to really complete the big trade, all those things look terrible for them. And I think that's where the Pelicans are. I think even best case scenario, I think Zion, he could get you to the playoffs, but the team has so many, you're so far away. So that it's just like you almost better just trading everybody and just going on that decade-long run and closing. Dog, been a hustler a long time. What Joe Dumars is doing, right? Him putting all his people on, and I don't mean just putting his people on like, come work with me. He getting people jobs. He willing and dealing. Like he's saying, you get some money over there, you recruit some people, I'm gonna get some money over here. You recruit some people, they gonna get some money over there, and next thing you know, it's next thing you know. So ain't no way in the world you doing that, and you got no intentions of being around a long time. I'm just saying.
Like, I just know. Like, Chaz, and I see what you're saying. I just kind of knew when Dumars was going to get this job, he was just going to bring his guys in, who he was comfortable with. Because look, we keep saying this. He's 61, 62 years old. Like, he ain't gonna go get.
But did he work with Troy Weaver at any point?
Yeah, they did. Had to have, huh?
I thought he was gone way before Troy Weaver came around.
I mean, but still, like, again, this motherfucker still worked for the NBA.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he probably dealt with him in some capacity at the paths have crossed. But Chaz, your point. I look at
Memphis, they both worked in Detroit. Yeah, Weaver was the general manager while Dumars was in the front office.
What was it, last year or something?
I'll have to look at it.
Because he got fired in 2015, I believe, right?
I think so. Go ahead, Jared.
No, you good. Chaz, your point about Memphis, I think them and the Pelicans are similar to this point. Like, they hold on to things way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once you saw Bane had some value around the league, that was the time to move off it. Right? Like, you can't hold on to players like that when they don't, not to say they don't bring value to your team, but once you see other teams want them, move so you can acquire more talent for yourself and then continue to build. I don't think that's a guy that's like a ceiling raiser for your team. Like, you're not getting deep in the playoffs. Once you lost, I think what was that, like 4 years ago? Yeah. That was the time to move. Like, that was time to make that exchange, and you didn't. Now you're in the position that you're in because of it.
Look, I'm actually interested in what Joe Dumars can do, because it's just something new. Like, you just knew with David Griffin, he was just spitting a bunch of bullshit. Like, I was just never looking at the only thing I was looking forward to was our breakdowns of his presser, just to make fun of him and just dissect what he was saying was all bullshit. But like, maybe Joe can come in here and give us some at least. I know Joe will at least hold people accountable. I at least know that. Can he draft well? I have no clue.
Do we know that though?
We don't. The bars. Yes, I know the bars. The bars.
Justin, all I'm saying is, bro, the game is the game. You know what I'm saying? They got different speakers of the game. You know, the way Griff did something is different than what Joe is probably gonna do, but it's the same game.
Same game.
You know what I mean? So don't give somebody some trust before they ain't earn it yet. Like,
oh yeah, you gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. You're right.
Let them earn it.
But I also say, just to put a positive spin on some things, I say what happens with Giannis is quite interesting because, again, the Rockets seem to be signaling that they are going to consider
with that Fred VanVleet deal.
Yeah, and I think I spoke about Donovan Mitchell's contract, the way it's structured. If the Cavs get swept or lose in embarrassing fashion, same thing with Boston. You got a lot of guys that can unsuspectedly enter the trade market this offseason. Like, because some of these things is just like, with Boston, it's like, we're not about to pay you a $500 million luxury tax. We're not going to keep doing that. So somebody got to go. And it's Tatum, 2 back-to-back postseason stankers. Hey, that light-skin privilege run out after a while, bro. I'm take it from me. So you might have to get up out of here, brother.
Can I ask you something here, Chaz? I'm going to cut you off, but to your point, though, you're talking about paying these luxury taxes and stuff like that. I think you're starting to see a little bit more parity in the NBA, right?
A lot
more, playoffs, these playoffs being actually really competitive, and all these games have been really, really entertaining. I know a lot of people shit on CJ McCollum, the deal that he made with the association, but like, I feel like it's kind of like been extremely entertaining these last couple of weeks. Like, the playoffs have been very fun to watch, with more balance in the league. And as you said, like, the Celtics are going to have to make a decision here pretty soon.
I think, to me, it's been good and bad. Not the CJ deal. I think the playoffs have been good and bad because because the injuries, and I just seen 2 superior teams just do so. I don't even think the Knicks ain't playing good.
No,
like Indiana didn't play good. It's just like everybody hurt for Cleveland, and the Celtics all hurt and shit. So now it's kind of like, but I do think there are some pathways to having a built, not bought team if you hit on your draft picks, which the Pelicans haven't done. And if you got some foundational pieces, which the Pelicans don't necessarily arguably have, and if you have a good coach, which the Pelicans absolutely don't have. But to spin it to a positive, yeah, I mean, fuck. If you could become a part of this Giannis trade, and I feel like if there's a way for you to attach DeJounte Murray to Giannis, I think you might got a window. I think you might have some light. Because everything really hinges on being able to move DeJounte, bro. Like, if you can't move DeJounte, there's only so much better you can get. If you're able to move DeJounte this offseason, then there's a chance you can bring in two really, really quality players. I'm talking about like big dog quality players. And that changes everything. Because, eventually Willie Green's decision hasn't been formally made yet. But that changes everything because you're only going to let Willie Green fuck up for so long.
It's so funny. It's so funny, the Willie Green thing. It's like you give I'm blanking on Utah's. Oh my God, what's his name? Utah's head coach.
Danny Ainge? Oh, that young head coach? Kirk Snyder?
No, it's holy shit. Someone help me in the chat. Either way,
Hardy.
Oh,
Will
Hardy, right?
Will
Hardy?
Okay.
Will Hardy, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. They're announcing his extension and making it celebrate. They were the worst team in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Kings have announced an extension for interim head coach Doug Christie. They're celebrating that, and then the Grizzlies are extending their. And then you have Willie Green, and we don't even know if he's being retained. And it just shows you what they really do think of Willie Green. It's just you're trying to hold on for another year. Go look at other teams announce how long the coach has been extended for or how they're celebrating said coach. And then you literally turn to the Chauncey Billups, another extension. Blazers didn't make the playoffs this year. I'm telling you right now, the front office, nobody believes in Willie Green. They're holding him on. Or holding on to him for one more year so they don't have to pay another coach one more year of salary. And to me, it's bad business. To me, it's bad business.
It's like getting your side chick pregnant. And then you gotta go to the baby shower. I ain't never done that before, but it just feels like that's just like, I got a wife because I got her pregnant and I'm here and I don't want to be here. We just this is what that feels like. Like watching Willie Green be the coach of the Pelicans doesn't feel like they necessarily prefer him, but this is what they got.
You know what? I kind of feel like it's with Denzel. Shout out to Denzel Allen. He said the Pelicans don't want backlash from their fan base so bad, which is why they keep things on the low. I kind of feel like this to a degree. I feel like because Willie Green just makes so little money, you must really like him in the front office.
As a person.
No, I don't. Well, not the front office. Because here's the thing, that front
Gail
office,
likes him. Gail likes him.
Yeah, and to me, because that front office that we was referring to is gone now, right? Gail likes him, and the thing is, Willie Green, old meek motherfucker. People in power love a good meek motherfucker. So he's what you do is. If it was just about the money, it would let him go. I think the only real option is I'm not discounting Willie Green getting the extension. I think the only issue is that they're not announcing things because they just don't want the backlash. And they don't want the backlash because they address the backlash head on. I don't think Gail got a problem with Willie Green. I think if it was up to Gail, she would have extended him already. Yeah. But I just think
because she likes him.
Yeah, I think it's the backlash. Now, I don't know if Joe really, really like him, but I think Joe just like, I don't give a fuck who driving this car. I'm robbing the bank. I don't care. But I think with Gail, I just think them knowing how we're going to react and how people are generally going to react when that extension gets announced is like, no, we can't do it in public anyway.
I thought it was funny, Chaz. Look, man, I hope Steph Curry comes back. That was a brutal injury last night. I just love watching him play basketball. But did you notice how quickly the Warriors came out today and told them what strain it was for Steph Curry? And I just thought it was so funny. They'd never do that for Zion. You never know what grade level it was for Zion Williams. But the Warriors was like grade 1 strain. He'll be back, or he'll take off a week and we'll see if he's back. I just think it's so funny how different franchises move. Charles, just I agree about Willie. If the Pels miraculously win 50 games, 60, what do you do with Willie next year? So this is a fair question, Charles, and I appreciate it. Here's my thing: do they win a playoff series or not? Because if they don't win that playoff series, he's automatically gone.
No, can't say that. Can't say that.
Why?
What did you? Did we not just watch?
Look, no. If they win 50 games and win the playoff series,
He's not Justin.
I know it's not going to happen. I'm just saying if it does,
he could win 100 games and lose in the first round. He will be the head coach. You know what? I'm done. I'm to the point where Willie Green's the head coach. I ain't got nothing else to say. Because at this point, we're just talking. We're just talking about nothing. Because at no point, we thought he should have been fired years ago. Multiple times.
Chad should have been fired the first year.
I didn't think he'd get past Christmas. But this motherfucker keep persevering. He is resilient. They keep talking about New Orleans being resilient. He is resilient. He beats the odds. You know what? He outgained Griff. That boy might be more gangster than we think.
Bro.
He might be smarter than we think. Maybe not basketball smart, but strategy smart.
Jonathan, hey, Jared, Jonathan, this is great. Win 100. He could lose 100 in a row and still be the coach. He has never won, or in the last 3 years, I think he's never won 4 more games in a row.
I think that's the stat.
God, so I wish we had Grove. Grove had some crazy stats.
Yeah.
Like he's lost, like he has like the worst like losses, like the top 3 worst losses in like franchise history.
I think, man, and this sucks to say, but it's like it's New Orleans, bro. And that's just what it is. It's the extension of the culture into the city. That's why you almost want somebody who's not really from New Orleans to own the team. Like, I would rather live with the threat that the team can be moved versus, like, I remember Hurricane Sandy hit Houston, right? And my partner, he from the East, but he was like, yo, man, we got to make some hats and stuff like that. I was like, whoa, slow your roll, partner. You ain't never lived in Texas or in Houston. I lived in Houston. That hurricane is going to be over in a second. Everything going to be fixed in a hot second. By next week, it was over. Like everybody lights back on, everybody shit just FEMA passing out hot plates and shit. Everything fine. Man, Katrina still look like it happened yesterday in some spots. Like you like that's what I'm telling you, bro. It's just New Orleans, though. As long as you got ownership like Gail, like you could just stick around and hang around and just fuck off with money. Like Joe Dumars knew he knew what he could get away with.
Yeah,
he knew what he could get away with, bro. Like that's why he here getting big bread, acting a fool, like putting his people on. I'm like BJ Armstrong. I ain't seen him since the Last Dance documentary. Where the fuck he come from? And he got a job in front office.
Yeah, my dog. That is kind of crazy. That news is kind of crazy. My dog, you made the playoffs as a coach in New Orleans. You get to stay pure. We have to face reality. When he stuck in the playoffs twice, we were doomed. Yeah, looking back, man, we've actually talked. We've talked about it as a group. We've talked about we've talked about it as a group, but making those playing games were kind of worst case scenario for this team, thinking they actually had a bright future ahead, and they have not. Let's get some comments and super chats. Go for about 10 more minutes. Appreciate everybody here. Smash the like button. A lot of good content coming out over the last couple days and next week. A bunch of grub stuff, a bunch of film breakdowns with all the guys. We got live shows on Wednesdays and Sundays. Got Saints content, so make sure you hit that bell notification. Let me know we're going live. As always, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everybody here. So, yeah, you answered this one, 5. So, Chaz from Donald, Zion is tradable with his current contract, and this is like,
I don't get the comment.
I'm guessing he's saying he has a really valuable contract.
Oh,
with
yeah.
With
That's
his
what
3
he means,
years,
yeah.
like 39, 42, 44 million. And there are still a bunch of opt-outs too, right? In the contract.
Yeah, you could cut him
So,
just for nothing,
you
really,
could
if
just
you
cut
wanted
him.
to. I bet Philly would take that. Philly would trade for Zion right now if you was willing to take Joel Embiid back. I bet. With that Joel Embiid contract, boy, 4 more years. Ooh.
What, is it like maybe like his last like $68 million? And Paul George is a player option, right?
Yeah, and Embiid. So they're not giving them none of that money.
Embiid's got a player option too. Yeah. That's tough.
4 years. Both of their contracts like 3 or 4 years too. That's fucked up. That's crazy.
Darrell Johnson, appreciate the super chat, man. Tennessee, is there even a chance this Pelicans team could be good next season or even with 2 seasons, Jarrett? Do you think they can be good?
In 2 seasons?
This season or following?
What depends on your definition of good, Tennessee. Is it just making the playoffs via the play-in? Yeah, they could do that. But is it like, being the 4 seed? Nah, I don't think so. Not right now. Not this trajectory. So if they land somewhere in between that, just depending on your definition of good, I would like to see them just build something, man. Right? Like have a style, be consistent in that. Build some kind of culture, like really build a culture. Don't just say the words and have them around the building, but actually live them and play through that. That way, the fans will know what they're gonna buy into. They're paying for a ticket. What's up, Jared? But that's what I would like to see. I don't know if they truly have a plan to win at a super high rate.
Yeah. Austin, appreciate you, man. Remember for 13 months. Who you compare Queen to? Zebo?
Zebo.
Zebo, is that what you mean?
Zebo.
Yeah, Zebo or Al Jefferson?
You know who I had?
Who?
Carl Landry. I think he gonna measure at like 6'8". And like why he can't really jump too much, but he got a big strong frame. So maybe Zebo L. I can see that. He might got a wingspan like Zebo had, but he remind me of Carl Landry when I watched.
Zebo was a killer, man. Zebo
on his like third team. See, that's the reason why the Derik Queens and the what's homie name, man? Fucking VJ Edgecomb scared me. Because you got the Victor Oladipo comp, and we'll talk more about VJ tomorrow, but Victor Oladipo went through the Magic, OKC, and then he landed with Indiana. He was good for like 3 years. That's a very long time. That's a bunch of teams, and he finally figured it out. And right after that, he was done, like via injury. Like he went to the Heat. He never figured it out injury-wise. He's retired now. So I'm like, that ain't really a good comp. Yeah, I might well come to somebody else.
Derik Queen at number 3. Whew.
That's why I never really loved comps, because you take the best of the comparison, and then you give it to a guy like, hey, bro, like he got too many more steps to get to that point, and we're just automatically giving guys these comparison as if they're these players right now.
Darrell Johnson, Chaz, do y'all believe the draft in certain years at least is rigged?
I do.
To a certain extent,
this is why I don't think Utah's getting number 1. This comment, right? I don't think, because I think the NBA absolutely despise what Utah did this year. They did that bullshit fine when everyone flipped out. They got fined $100,000. Is that correct? Everyone's like, that's really, that's not even like a slap on the wrist. I'm telling you right now, I think Utah falls just because of the way they tanked, and I think the NBA can rig the draft. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised if Utah got 3 or 4.
I think NBA rigging goes deeper than the draft, honestly. But
you think they rigged the Luka trade?
I think the NBA historically rigged a lot. I don't want to get into that conversation here, but it's quite a bit of evidence. But and this ain't like no tinfoil had evidence neither. It's like this shit was recorded. It's on film. But that'll be an electric fan base in Utah, boy. You gotta think all them jerseys to be flying off the shelves. That in Utah,
just in Utah though. Like I think the NBA looks at shit like, how can I make the most money everywhere? If that boy was in Boston, different story.
Hey, know why I think Utah get him? Mormon, more money. Mormon, say it real fast. Mormon, more money. Like, hey, you say it real fast. Utah, that's a slogan right there.
I just think it's a man. I just think it's a bad look. I think it's a bad look for the
It
NBA
is.
if
It would
Utah gets
really
number
be a
one.
black eye on the
If
league.
they get
to do
number
that.
one, they're like just like what Trey's saying here. If Utah gets number one, I'm gonna be pissed because they talked about
Yeah.
punishing teams for tanking, and what
And
they
it's
did
not-
this year was egregious. It was
Yeah.
egregious.
It'll incentivize other teams to do exactly the same thing.
What, you're gonna get fined for $100,000? Okay.
And if Washington get them, that's just like a total just waste of time.
Yeah.
It would be like,
Washington-
why did you do that? Like,
Everyone's
it's a
like, what?
waste of time. It's
Yeah.
a waste of a star if you do that.
Like Washington doesn't even care. Like, yeah, that would be weird.
No, I'm just like, not really that, Justin. Just like, there's no demo for him here. Like, for one, yeah, you're on the Northeast, but you're not with the Knicks. You're not with. It would be less impactful than when KP went to the Knicks. Like, that's how little fanfare I think it would be around Washington getting them. They might not even have a representative at the draft. They draft this motherfucker.
Yeah. Reed Hefner, appreciate you. But do you guys, for being a member, do you guys think the Pelicans are going to have the same problem with CJ they had with Brandon Ingram? No, CJ's an actual professional. CJ wants to play basketball. He shows up to work and he plays basketball games. I don't think he won't be a problem. I do think though, Joe does have, he actually brings up a good point here, Jarrett. Like, Griffin and CJ obviously had a relationship. What do you think Joe does with CJ?
CJ's easier to trade, right? But again,
He's
like,
much
I've always
easier.
thought that Joe and CJ already had a relationship.
Right. That's a good
Yeah.
point because of,
You know,
league
So
office.
it doesn't. I think that's more so separate. Like he's not. CJ's not tied to Griff. Like no, he probably knew that was happening before it happened. He probably knew it before we thought it was happening. So, I think CJ's fine. Whatever CJ pretty much wants to do, he'll probably get done.
I think if Joe operating the way he's operating so far, he like to look out for his people.
Dog.
I think he gonna say, "Hey, where you want to go? I'm gonna see who can get you an extension." And yeah, look out for me now, bitch. You get your bed. Look out for me. I wear size 12. Look out for me. I think he gonna look out for him.
Chaz, here's a softball question for you from Cap. Would y'all take Anthony Davis in a trade?
Yeah, depending on what I'm trading. Like, again, I think again, if Anthony Davis was perfect, you wouldn't be able to get him. And also, just recognizing where you at as an organization. If I still want to compete and I was desperate and I could get him for cheap, sure. But I don't think that's the direction you want to go in at this stage.
If Buku's that guy, I guess I can look up his contract. What's Anthony Davis's contract? Isn't he coming up? Isn't he due for an extension?
It's too much. AD getting older. You're a big man. That's what you got to trust AD. AD saying he don't want to play the center for a reason. If AD could play small forward, he probably would.
Shit, he's on the books for the next. He's got 2 years left in a player option in 2027, 2020. He's making $62 million.
How old he gonna be?
Holy shit! At age 34, he's making $62
Oh yeah, he ain't
million.
opting out.
He ain't opting out.
That's
Hell
a
no.
bit of big money. What you mean?
Never mind.
Oh, big break.
Bro, 60. He's gonna be making $62 million. Joel's gonna be making $66 million.
Anthony Davis will probably. He's not gonna retire. He might though. Anthony Davis might go out like Andrew Luck. Say, look,
Just like fuck it.
fuck it. I'm filthy rich.
It's
I want to be able to
preseason.
walk.
It's preseason. I want to be able to walk. I'm out of here.
I'm done.
West Bank Poppy. I've been saying this, man, for a couple of years now. I personally think bringing Chris Paul back would be.
I can see Joe doing that. Joe probably got the clout to bring Chris Paul back. He would probably do it for Joe.
Bring CP3 back.
But then what you do with Alvarado? Or what you do with a couple of other people? Like, do you just get rid of them or?
Once again, Joe has no ties to these guys.
He don't. He don't.
He doesn't have it. So, yeah, bring back. Fuck it. I saw someone today YouTube comment say we should trade for Luka. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Just trade for Luka.
Yeah, why not? Shit, I'll do it.
Why stop there? Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
hey, go for it.
Okay, last question. We'll go with this one. Fire David Griffin. You might have to change your change your name. I mean, you keep it. They did fire David Griffin. Do y'all think Boston
He said
fired? I'm tripping. My bad. Keep the fucking name.
Shaka.
Do y'all think Boston would move Tatum or Brown first if they were blown up? Of course.
That's a great question.
That's a really good question.
Personally, I think it'd be Brown first over Tatum, even though I think Jalen is
Hello, Chaz.
very talented
It should be Tatum, but they're gonna move Jalen Brown
because it's
but
easier to
it
do.
should definitively be Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I think if Jalen Brown was a little more
Preserved,
amenable, then maybe. But I think it's gonna be Tatum because you're just hoping that you could like. But I think once they trade Jalen Brown, I think they lose like the heart and the mental toughness of the team because this is back-to-back playoffs where I've seen Jason Tatum just look like crazy. To me, what fucked Jason Tatum up was Jalen Brown winning Eastern Conference Finals, even MVP, and then winning Finals MVP. Because now everything is like just glory shot. And it's like, bro, you look like a fucking monster out there. Like, you're like a player from the 80s. Ain't nowhere in the world you should be as finesse as you are. So I think it's going to be
go ahead, Jared.
No, just to piggyback off that point, just like I always thought, like too much talent doesn't force you to reach your like potential at times. Like, and I think for Jason, it's like you can't like you haven't learned how to struggle, right? Like it's been all good for so long, and you're trying to be like Kobe, but at least Kobe had years where he failed. And you're failing at like the wrong time. You need to be failing early, playing through mistakes, learning how to run a team. Everything's been so laid out for you, like now because you don't know how to react when things go really wrong. You don't know,
man.
What would you give up? Would you give up a first round pick this year for Jalen Brown?
What? Hell yeah! I probably trade.
So you would trade number 2 for fucking a player.
Well, but Jalen Brown is different because Jalen Brown is like a real player. Like he ain't like always hurt.
Player. He's
I'm talking about when I talk about a player, I wouldn't want to do it for like a distressed asset. Like I wouldn't really want to do it for Ja. I wouldn't trade it for AD. Like I wouldn't want to do shit like that. Shout out to 504. I think he was trying to gift it to Corey. Corey, if you ain't got it that time though, you done peer pressured this man into donating a membership.
Tennessee Brown is an actual NBA player.
Yeah.
Hey, just remember, I said this a long time ago. About Cooper, like or just about the Celtics dynamic.
And it was spot on.
They would easily give up Jalen Brown for Cooper Flag with no question.
Because it also makes sense, right? Because no question about that. You pair Jason Tatum, Duke player, with Cooper Flag, Duke player. It makes a lot of sense.
Is from
Jalen Brown,
fucking Maine. Like he's from
fucking
Maine. New Balance.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like with that, and then also he's on a rookie contract. Celtics looking to shed money. It makes a lot of sense.
They don't even give.
This is what I'm saying. I think there'd be teams. I really do think there'd be teams if the Pelicans somehow get number 1. I really do think there'd be teams that
I don't even think you need number 1 for Brown.
Okay,
remember I've been saying this for a while.
They
blowing that team up. They have to because like nobody really gonna trade for Porzingis. Only a team that's close is gonna trade for Drew Holiday, and Drew been looking. Drew is like, boy, Drew the first year master. First year his deals, Drew be looking great. Then it's like at the second year you be like, oh fuck. So Drew looking bad right now.
The last year he's back to
it's looking bad. So I think
there you
500,
go, Jared.
$500 million tax bill. I'm telling you, if you got a top
and new ownership
who like y'all got a ring, what you need another one for? We the Celtics. It don't cost us much to win a ring. Fuck,
right.
We can milk this ring for the next 10 years.
That's why, like, I personally think, like, I know you said there wouldn't be a lot of like, well, I guess like trade. Like, I do think like if you get 1 or 2, there are gonna be teams that you said, Chaz, earlier. Like, I think you're gonna see a lot of trades happening this offseason. Because of that tax, that second apron, and teams do not want to pay that.
I don't say it because of the pick, though, Justin. I say it because the Pelicans don't have enough player talent. Especially like DeJounte being hurt fucks up a lot. Like if DeJounte wasn't expiring and he was hurt, it wouldn't matter because you could just like you bite the bullet on that 1 year. I think you either gotta attach a first to DeJounte to move him, or you can try to. He would have to be the reason that you moved Giannis or not. If like the Giannis deal wouldn't go through unless the Pelicans like, no, somebody got to take DeJounte, then cool. But other than that, I really think it limits what you can do this offseason with DeJounte. It ain't, an indictment on him. It's just the injury. It's,
No,
it's
it's a
fucked
tough
up. What
injury,
happened?
man. And it's good. It's good to see him back on his feet. Like,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, Chaz. Like to your point, like it's not the player. It's not his fault. It's just a shitty situation. Yeah, it's an hour in. Wanted there. Appreciate everyone that pulled up tonight. Once again, we got a lot of content coming to this off season, so I think we'll be live Sunday night. But if we're not live, I think we'll be live. Shout out to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. But we're gonna try to go live Sunday night and talk to the guys, see what they want to do. But if we don't go live,
Is Monday the lottery?
And then Monday is the lottery. Thanks for that reminder, Chaz. Monday's the lottery. We will be live watching it with y'all and then going with an instant reaction. So, Chaz, do you know what time that is again? Is that at 7?
I think it's at 7, if I'm not
7
mistaken.
Central, 8 Eastern.
I think it's 7 Eastern, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so we'll be live. I'll put it on Twitter, Instagram, all that shit. So appreciate everybody. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all our sponsors. Hope to see y'all this weekend, but if we don't see y'all Sunday, we'll definitely see y'all on Monday night. See y'all.
Peace.